Hi Virgo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your March 2020 full moon reading for you. Now, the impact of this full moon will last from the 9th of March to the 7th of April, from full moon to full moon, and it's a very powerful time. There's a supermoon on this full moon. We are coming out of a supermoon, full moon time period, and we will be having another supermoon on April and in May. So this is a very powerful time. It can also be a very emotional time for people. So do be aware of that. Spring equinox is on the 19th, which is fantastic. The new moon is on the 24th, and we are coming out of Mercury retrograde on the 9th, on the day of the full moon, which is just absolutely amazing. So let's dive right in. I'm going to be moving your Moonology cards and your Queen of the Moon cards over to the side. I'll be layering, there we go, those on top of the tarot at the very end, just to have the moon, Luna, speak for herself, be able to show you the impact that the moon will have, correlating with certain emotions and things that come up in the tarot. Right? So let's see here, Virgo. How will Virgo be affected by the March 2020 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the March 2020 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the March 2020 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the March 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Fantastic. Okay. So at the center of everything, we have the Seven of Pentacles, crowned by the King of Pentacles. Now that's you, Virgo, definitely shining through. Now also note this full moon is in Virgo, so this is a very, very powerful time for you. You're coming through as a king. People will be taking note of you. Then we have the Emperor. This is an Aries energy shining through, a time period March 21st to April 19th. Then we have the Ace of Swords, the Chariot. This is the time frame of June 21st to July 22nd. The Queen of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Okay, so strong Cancer presence here. And then we have the Three of Cups. The Fool card, you are definitely starting a new journey. The Judgment card, your angels are right there with you. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. Your hard work is absolutely paying off. So that is beautiful. Now let's talk about this moon just for a moment. I have everything laid out all right here. So the full moon in the Queen of the Moon and the Moonology cards are all about power and surrendering to the divine. So as you surrender to the divine, you step into your power, you embrace power, you understand yourself more, right? Because you are reflecting the light of the sun. Okay, so what Spirit is saying here is that the moon, of course, reflects the light of the sun. And so with the full moon, it is a full reflection. The moon reflects what is done in the day. So the energy of the day is reflected within the night. So here there is a sense of contemplation, of stepping back, of seeing things more personally, more reasonably, more powerfully during this time. And as you do so, you have the full moon in Virgo. So Virgo, this is very important to you, very impactful for you. The full moon in Virgo says you are good enough. And as I've said with this before, the full moon, with it saying here, you are good enough, it sounds rude. It just does. But really what it's saying here is that you are enough, which isn't rude at all. And being good enough isn't rude. It's just that we strive for excellence. We have made excellence our new normal. Nobody is allowed to be normal. Nobody is allowed to be average. You have to be above average. You have to be extraordinary, which really, if you break extraordinary down, it's simply extraordinary. So here, there is this sense of seeing yourself for who you are, not for who you want to be, not for who your parents want you to be, or your boyfriend, girlfriend, partner wants you to be, not for anybody else, but for who you are, and saying, I'm enough. I'm enough. And you might sit there and say, Dean, there's so much I want to achieve. There's so far I have to go. I am not enough right now. And you know what? That's wrong. And I don't mean to be rude or to put you on the spot, but it is wrong. because you are exactly at the point in your journey that you are supposed to be in. You might not be enjoying this part. That's a completely different story. But you are exactly where you are supposed to be. And as you embrace your truth, as you look at your power, as you look at your understanding of yourself, of the wisdom that's come, of the lessons that you have had to learn, of, feeling overwhelmed or doubting yourself or questioning, you are going to see that you are enough to handle this situation. And as you see that you are enough, as you see that you are good enough, okay, powerful enough, prosperous enough, bountiful enough, okay, that you can call all those things to you. You embrace the supermoon, which says emotions are running high. Yes, there's a sense of doubt. Yes, there is a sense of fear. Personal emotions, especially personal relationships, especially running astoundingly high during this time. It can amplify what you really desire, the supermoon. So it can amplify base desires. It can amplify really, lifelong dream desires. So this moon is going to call you. And with it being in Virgo, this is being a very discerning moon. Okay? You're very discerning in and of yourself. The moon itself is very discerning, meaning you're going to be, I'm not saying discriminating in a bad way, okay? So I don't want you to be offended, but it's saying I don't want that energy in my life. I don't want that negativity to pull me down. I don't want, and it's being discriminating with energy, discriminating with, hurts and pains and what you are going to let pull you down during this time. And I know you're going to sit there and say, but I don't let anything pull me down. Like it just happens. And I remember, I don't know if I was talking to somebody or if I was reading, and they said, you let them. Whether you realized you gave them the power over you or you didn't, it was still you who let them hurt you that way. Like hurt you so deeply that it can't be kind of shrugged off. Now, I'm not talking about extensive emotional pain or anything violent and hurtful like that, but I am talking about the little pains that we go through every single day, and they can add up and they can scar and they can wound. And here with this supermoon, why this is important to realize the hurts, the wounds, they can add up and they can drag us down during this time is because this is all about attraction. This moon is, yes, emotions run high, but it's an emotionally charged time. And as you are embracing what you desire, as you are stepping into what you want, you are attracting to yourself from the energy that you bring out, okay, that you let out. And as you are attracting what you desire, it can also very easily turn to attracting what you do not want. And as you do so, you need to have faith within yourself. This full moon is also the worm moon, which doesn't sound as pretty or romantic, but it is absolutely beautiful because the worms are what bring the soil to life, are what, help keep it rich and nourish and, just lovely. So if you are in the northern hemisphere, this is a time when the soil is awakening. If you are in the southern hemisphere, this is the time where the soil is, going to sleep for the winter, for the cold of the winter. So here you can very much see the moss, the grass, being like a blanket pulled over her, or as the earth coming to life. And so here you are pregnant with possibilities, pregnant with your dreams, with your desires, and you are attracting to yourself and what you are giving birth to this universe, to the energy of this world. You are attracting to yourself what you need, right? And so make sure that you are really practicing positive mindfulness during this time, because if you aren't, okay, if there's negativity that comes in and it can stay, those will be the seeds that are being planted, which I know isn't what anybody wants to hear, but it does need to be said, okay? And so then on March 24th is the new moon, and this is a time for beginnings. A new start is coming. And this is also going to be a time where you feel really energized, really focused, really determined, because the new moon is in Aries, and it says it is time to take action. And you are either walking through to new growth, new power, to the spring, or you're walking through the doorway, the portal, to a time of being in the womb, okay, to a time of contemplation, understanding, of embracing what you desire, what you want, and being more introverted instead of extroverted. Now, it doesn't really matter where in the world you are located. It depends on your personal preference, whether this will be a more introverted time for you or an extroverted time. But I do see more for people in the southern hemisphere, it's going to be a more introverted time, a more of a time of contemplation. For people in the northern hemisphere, this is going to be a time more of action and of really moving forward towards what you desire, taking action, going after things. For people who are having this time be more introverted for them, the action is going to be more cerebral. It's going to be more mapping things out. It's going to be more thinking about it, seeing it, really working on the visualization part of it all, really seeing what you desire, seeing the way that you want to move forward. Because in April, the full moon is in Libra, and it says a win-win outcome is forecast. You're really going to be focusing on the balance of what you want, the emotions that you are bringing into things. Love is going to be a huge part of your life during this time because love is astoundingly powerful for Libras. And then this moves you to your totem animal, your spirit animal for this time, which is the wolf spirit. It says turn knowledge into wisdom, and the whale spirit, which is trust the great mysteries. So as you live, you are going to see that every hardship, every pain, every disappointment you have been through has become part of your wisdom, has become part of your truth, has become part of your power. And as you do so, as you walk in this knowledge, and as you walk in this pride, you trust in the great mysteries, trusting that it doesn't all have to be figured out or understood. You trust in the greater mysteries. And this leads you then in April to the fact that your totem animals are going to be the wolf spirit and the hawk spirit, which says here, not only are you turning knowledge into wisdom, but you let spirit be your guide to move you forward, to help you embrace what you desire, what you want, and where it is that you need to be within your life. And at the heart of everything is the Seven of Pentacles. Now, in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this is a tree with 7 pentacles on it and a person looking up being like, oh, is that fruit ripe to pick yet? So here, with the 7 of Pentacles right here, they're on shopping bags. So it is bringing in your prosperity. Does it hold the ripeness that you want? You might be looking at your harvest and saying, you know what, I'm picking now. I'm picking my harvest now. But it is going to be really beneficial to wait until you are secure within yourself. Okay? And that can take a moment. That could be, at the end of the month, the beginning of the month, but you are looking at your prosperity. You are looking at what's truly important to you during this time, the seeds that you have planted, the way that you have nourished it, are things ripe for the picking? And as you look at things, you are going to see new avenues start to open up. You're going to see new ideas start to come your way because the angels are really blessing you. And you're going to be able to move forward with the prosperity right over your shoulder coming to you that you want. And it's going to be because the angels bless you. Divinity leads you forward. Your spirit guides walk with you. And you embrace your truth, your bounty, and your understanding. You're going to start to see doors open. You're going to start to see yourself looking at things differently. You're going to start to see true inspiration becoming a part of you and being a part of you. And as you embrace this, you really are embracing also a kingly mentality when it comes to your mindset, when it comes to what you want. Now, what does this mean? A kingly mentality is the actor, first of all, upon the stage. I don't really see kings and queens as male or as female, but kings are the actors upon the stage, queens, the directors behind the scenes. Kings are the people who people turn to get things done. Now, the queens being the directors behind the scenes means that they are equally as important. But in medieval times, especially, you needed a king. A queen could run the whole entire kingdom, and many did, but they needed just that figurehead of a king to sit there and just look like he was in charge, right? So here, there is this sense of power becoming you. And as you embrace this power, you have the Queen of Cups. So you're embracing your prosperity. You are embracing your power, your understanding. I'm not at all saying you are a puppet king. What I am saying is that people are going to look at you and look towards you for advice, especially when it comes to prosperity, abundance. They're really going to see that you have things figured out, Virgo. But it's going to be this Queen of Cups that is going to be the behind the scenes, what you look at. So behind the scenes, you are going to be looking at your heart, your soul, yourself, the richness of the soil that you are planting. Soil that you are planting? No, seeds that you are planting in rich soil. You're looking at what you really desire, what you want, things to last down. And I really do see this as generations. What is it that you desire? What is the legacy, the prosperity that you want to be known for in your life? It doesn't mean a red carpet life. It doesn't mean that you have to be, the greatest movie star or the greatest, this or that ever to have lived. It means that you have to be living your purpose. And our purposes, we always think that it has to be something grandiose. And for some people, yes, it is something grandiose. But for others, and for many, what is our greatest gift may not be viewed as important by other people. You may be a fantastic parent. So you really are embracing the next generation with love and moving forward. And yet that doesn't get a paycheck. Do you value yourself less? You may be a fantastic friend. But does that get a paycheck? So do you value yourself less? It's looking at your strengths and not saying, wow, society judges success this way. And if I am not successful this way, I have no worth, I have no success. You are putting the crown on your head of prosperity. People are looking at you as a prosperous, bountiful, abundant person. And as you embrace your prosperity, as you embrace your bounty, it's embracing your personal gifts. And as you embrace these gifts, as you sit there and say, this is me, like it, don't like it, it's okay. It's not going to ruin me. You start moving forward with the Fool. The Fool, yes, you can sit there and think, oh my gosh, this is so foolish. I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm moving forward this way. I can't believe it. But the Fool is also brave. The Fool is the beginning of our journey as human beings, taking our first steps, before taking our first steps, most definitely coming out of the womb. You change from a water animal to a land animal. There is this transformation. There is this sense of fear and being overwhelmed. Do I jump? Do I go after my dreams? Do I stay where it's safe? We have to make all these decisions, and all starts with the first steps. And so here with this Fool energy, you are moving yourself forward. You are embracing your sun. You are embracing your prosperity. You are being guided, protected, and, listened to by your best friend. Now, this could be quite literally a dog, or it can be your spirit animals. Yeah, spirit is saying your spirit animals, your guardian spirits here, your spirit guides, there we go, your angels leading you forward. There is just this sense of power around you, of listening to your higher self, of knowing your truth, and not doubting you just because other people don't see it as being as worthy as other things. Spirit is really saying, look at what you want. This is also a time of tending to what's important to you. You are a fantastic helper, Virgo. And I always hate it when people say that, like, oh, you're such a great helper. It sounds a bit condescending. And I don't mean it that way. I mean it as you're the person who wants to hold out their hand and says, I will help you up. Be careful about being pulled down. Because, when you put out your hand, okay, and somebody's in a pit, like just think of them as in a bit of a pit. As you put out your hand and you say, I'll help you up, they can easily take their strength and instead of climbing out of that pit, they can pull you into it. So be very mindful of who you say, I'm there for you for. Who you are, really, who you're trusting during this time. Because you have a beautiful journey ahead of you, beautiful prosperity and power around you. So be very mindful of who you give your helping hand to. Because you are focused, you are driven. And that comes through with the Chariot energy right here. And the repeat of the number 7, ooh, goodness. So the repeat of the number 7 is intense. 7 is looking towards spirituality. It is looking towards the esoteric, so maybe going off a little bit of the beaten course. But it is also a number of truth, right? Saying that if you do anything that isn't on the up and up, you'll be called out on it. And it can be something very little. So just be mindful here. And that's always the way. I'm not saying, Virgo, that you wouldn't do something, that you would do something that isn't on the up and up, but just be mindful of it, because you will be called out and you'll be like, what the heck? This was so small. Like, come on, look at that person over there. They did something so much more. So also with the repeat of the number 7, you're not going to be able to abide liars. You're going to sit there and be like, well, why talk? Why not just keep your mouth shut? That's really going to be your sentiment with that type of energy. So just be very mindful, and also know that you need to plant your seeds within truth and be very mindful of who you trust during this time. The Chariot energy, charioteers back in the day, oh my gosh, they were the NASCAR racers of their time, right? So this is you being intense. This is you being focused. This is you, taking risks, going after what it is that you want, speeding things up. But this is also you being fierce, okay? Because charioteers in war in ancient times, they were the tanks. Well, yeah, pretty much. They were the people who, you could steer. You could have one person in the chariot steering the chariot. You could have the other person throwing spears, shooting arrows. All that stuff made them so much deadlier than just the person, running in battle. Just the regular foot soldier. So there's a power. There's a purpose. There's also a majesty and a richness to you during this time. You will also find that a Cancer energy, or somebody who is very driven but also very heartfelt, is somebody that you're very drawn to during this time. Somebody who is just astoundingly loving. The 8 of Pentacles, prosperity, hard work, dedication, putting in, your hours. The Spirit is saying the 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. You are putting in the hours. You are going after what you desire. You are looking at things and saying, I will work hard to make things happen. And you are. And you're putting your heart and your soul and all your passion into it. This is a passionate moon for you. And this is a tremendously prosperous time. And as you put in your passion, as you put in your dedication, as you work hard, the angels sing over you. So you are definitely working towards profound goals. And you have here just love being a part of you. Love, sweetness, caring, leading by example. Sitting there and saying, also, choices are going to be very important. You've made your choice. And I'm seeing this very much with people. Like, you might see this as somebody who you want to help, like a child, but it's not actually going to be a child. For some, it might be. But for others, it's going to be like, okay, you made that choice, and I can't change that choice for you. So it's kind of like stepping back just a little bit, which is going to be hard, Virgo, but it's going to be necessary. But it's also here leading by example. It's being that light that you want to see in the world. And as you are that light, you cut through doubts and fears. You know where it is that you stand. God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, is handing you this gift of knowledge, of cutting through doubts and fears, of knowing that you want more. You want more clarity. You want more insight, but also giving you a razor sharp mind at this time, really seeing things clearly. And it can be that you're like hindsight, as hindsight always is 2020, but there's this sense here of, as you're moving forward, if you come from a place of love, even if you don't do everything right, which, I mean, who does, right? It's going to shine brightly on you. And there's a sense of severing ties of negativity to embrace moments of beauty. Not moments, moments. Beauty comes in moments. Just like sorrow comes in moments. We get moments of sorrow, moments of beauty, and they're all mixed together within a day. And there are times where you're sitting there and you want to, just pull out your hair because everything is chaotic. And there are other times where you're sitting there and you're like, wow, this is really lovely. And it's all within the same 24-hour period. So here, as you cut through doubts and fears, as you stand your ground, as you know what it is that you desire, know that this gift right here is permeating every aspect of this time period for you. You're not taking it because you could be taking it with this subconscious message, but I don't have you right now taking this gift. But I do have it being a part of you, this knowledge, this understanding, and it's driven by the angels in your hard work. It's like you are actually seeing concrete rewards for the hard work and the dedication that you have given to what you desire, to the seeds that you are planting, to the prosperity that you are claiming. And you are seeing here that, yes, not everybody can be trusted. That's how I see the 3 of Cups. Not everybody can be trusted. It is somebody who celebrates you or who's more than willing to raise a glass to you, but will also, stab you in the back first chance that they get. This isn't a person who is indifferent. This is a person who can be actively vindictive and vicious. So just be mindful of this. Now, it can be that this is a fire sign energy. It can also be that this is a water sign energy. It can be an Aries or a Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. There we go. So it doesn't say that they have to be. It can just be a person who comes across very loving, very driven, and who really has their own agenda. And they will be one of those people where you're like, oh my gosh, I can totally help you. I'm totally there for you. And then they pull you into the pit. So just be mindful. Just be mindful of this pit, because I am seeing it a lot in this reading. It's not anything bad. It's just something that Spirit is saying. Be mindful and do not take things at face value so readily. Okay? And it moves you to the Emperor. The Emperor is, the king to the extreme, right? So this is definitely people's eyes turning towards you. There's a sense of dedication, determination, going after what you want, going after what you desire, claiming of your throne. I always look at the Emperor as David in the Old Testament, in the Torah, because there's such a beauty to David, to King David. King David was flawed. He was flawed. He was not perfect. And he wasn't flawed in the way that, Greek gods were flawed. And yes, I understand that you might not look at favorably connecting somebody from the Bible to, mythologies. But Greek gods were flawed. Norse gods were flawed. But I'm going to do it anyway, quite frankly. And that's how people like to see their divinities during this time. But with David, there's a shift. There's a shift in the way that we want to see things, in the way that we want to perceive things. And it's not being perfect. It's not being Christ-like here. It's saying you're still human. You will still make mistakes. You will still stumble. You will still fall. You will still have times where you are the person that can't be trusted. Because David was the one who sent out, Bathsheba's wife, to go, I believe it was Bathsheba, to go and be killed on the front lines so that he can marry her. So here, there is that sense of, there are times where we will have regrets, where we will have, heartbreaks and pains that we feel that we caused ourselves. But do not let that pull us away from divinity. Do not let that pull us away from our angels, from the universe, from the healing power, because it doesn't mean that we are not worthy. It means that we are human. And as much as David celebrated his beautiful connection to God, to the universe, he also embraced his humanity and said that I will constantly be learning. I will constantly be evolving. I will constantly be growing. And that's what we're doing right here. And that's the energy to embrace. And as you embrace that energy, you see a new journey starts. And you see that the angels walk with you, celebrate you, send you with, trumpets of joy, heralding you forward. So let's see what your Queen of the Moon cards have to say and your Moonology. How will Virgo be affected by the March 2020 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the March 2020 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the March 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. How will Virgo be affected by the March 2020 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the March 2020 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the March 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Okay, what I love is that you start off with peace at your heart as you are looking at the seeds of prosperity that you've planted, as you are looking at what you desire. There is this need of peace. There is this sense of peace that comes over you. There is also an embracing of mindfulness. There is a sense of being patient, of being patient with yourself and looking at what you desire internally and letting really your heart be your guide. Why? Because we are emotional beings. As much as we would like to think that we are logical beings and we could just kind of go off of logic, and if we map everything out, it would be fantastic. But I really see us as emotional beings. And if we deny our hearts, which so often we do, we deny our hearts and we say, I have to be like this, I have to conform, I have to be, and you start to lose yourself and lose yourself and lose yourself. So here, it is saying that I have planted these seeds of abundance for me. And by embracing peace, I embrace the power of my heart, my soul, myself. And this moves us to the new moon in Libra. So April 7th, when we enter into this new moon period, not this new moon, but the full moon in Libra period, okay? The Libra energy is going to be very powerful for you, and you're really working up towards it, because this says a new romantic cycle begins, a new sense of an understanding of love. It doesn't mean that you have to be falling in love with anybody, or that, it can mean an increase of passion, most definitely. But I do see it here as a new way of looking at the love that you desire within your life, and a new romantic cycle within your heart. It can be simply for yourself. It's simply for your existence here on earth. And this moves you to abundance, crowning you. Abundance as you claim your throne and you see that there is so much more beauty to this earth and to the power that you are embracing than you had anticipated or thought. And as you embrace this abundance, you move towards the full moon in Taurus, which says your dreams need a practical plan. But I'm also seeing here a patient plan. So Virgo, you might sit there, and this is a energy charged moon for you. This is a sense of, you're in your element, full moon in Virgo. You know what you need to do. You're going after it. You have a plan. You can have a schedule planned out. You might do very, very well with a routine, or you might do very well with kind of winging it, but knowing kind of the arcing theme. But here, you need to know that you need to be patient with your dreams as you make them a reality, because you're going to think, wow, this should be going so much faster than it is. But you also have to have faith within yourself as you move forward. And as you make this practical plan, don't be afraid of the steps that it takes. Don't be afraid of the first steps. Don't be afraid of the stumbles, the failures, the people who think that you're foolish. Keep on moving forward in your truth, because you'll see yourself embraced and emboldened. And as you do so, the unexpected, you start moving towards the unexpected with love, with passion, with dignity, with pride. And as you move towards the unexpected, I love this one right here. I love the picture, first of all. I think it's very, very pretty. And the waxing crescent moon says, have faith in your dreams. Have faith in your dreams, because they were planted in your heart for a reason. And it wasn't to just simply watch them wither away and die. It was to give them birth and to embrace them and love them, because they are a part of you. And sometimes those dreams, you were born with them in you. Okay? Yes, sometimes they can just develop. But for a lot of the dreams that are hard to walk away from, that can feel like a terrible breakup if you turn your back on it, those are the dreams that were planted inside your heart before you were even born. And that's what you're working so hard during this time to accomplish, to achieve, to go after, is that embrace of that heart's truth and that soul's power, which leads you to an acceptance of what you love, of the people you love, of where you want to be within love, an acceptance of your heart's truth as you claim it as a queen, as somebody who does not need to be center stage, though I do swear, Virgo, you are going to be seen a lot. But your heart, your soul, your pride and joy of self, that you are going to keep very private and you're going to hold very true to you, which leads you to the fixed moon, which says, hold your vision. Hold to your vision as you get inspiration of mind. Keep a little notebook with you or your phone about you to talk into it. Let yourself have moments of inspiration. Let yourself have moments of just being outside. Just connecting with the sun or the moon, whichever one you want to connect with. Just being part of nature will help clear away the cobwebs and cut through the fear. It leads you to a new romantic cycle as you have faith in your dreams and as you are in love with yourself. It then moves you to surrender. Surrender to the fact that there will be betrayals and hurts and disappointments. That's a part of life and a part of growing. You surrender to your power and your purpose. You will find that you will soar. And it leads you to the third quarter moon. Adjustments are required, most definitely. Just as David had to make adjustments as he ruled, so will you. And I'm not saying that you are as great as David, but everybody has that potential in them. And so claim your power, claim your throne. Know where it is that you stand, and have the right to change your mind. Have the right to sit there and say, wow, I really thought I'd love it, but I don't. So here, adjustments are required, but your strength, your purpose, your determination is always. And it moves you to the full moon in Taurus. Your dreams need a practical plan. As you embrace a new romantic cycle, as you see yourself moving forward. Your subconscious message for this time is the Page of Swords. So there you go. There you go, Virgo. You absolutely take this gift. And you study and you learn and you understand and you cut through doubts and fears. And you open up your mind to the beginner's mind that they talk of in Buddhism, where they say, come to things as a beginner. Step back. Pretend like you haven't been working on this problem, or, give yourself time to step back, to breathe, to clear your head. Come to it again. You will be inspired. You will be invigorated. And you will come to it with beginner's eyes and with the beginner's mind, cutting through the doubts and fears and moving yourself forward. This then moves you to the subconscious message of the Queen of the Moon. There we go. And this is assessing, but it's also ascending. You assess as you ascend, as you move forward, as you embrace your passion, as you embrace your understanding, as you embrace your drive. You assess, you look at, and you're looking at things differently, which leads you to the new moon in Taurus. So you have this strong Taurus energy here, right? And this says, prosperity lies ahead. And it does. Prosperity lies ahead of you. Keep on moving forward. Keep on assessing and ascending. Keep on studying and learning and cutting through doubts and fears and knowing the fierce power of your mind and your truth. All right, Virgo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. And I love you all. Bye.